Everybody's broadcasting. Shorty, I had something really cool to say. I wanted to stuff a newspaper somewhere, and I wanted to see and make sure it was Saturday's paper, and I couldn't find the word Saturday. I got exasperated, which I do. Saturday isn't obvious. It wasn't. I had to fumble through the paper to find the word Saturday. Just the way they had it folded. It exasperated and I forgot what I was going to say. Well, I want to remind you something. That's happening a lot to nice things. I have a lovelier intention in my mind that I'll ever get to live. Again and again and again. I think every generation I've ever lived, I recall it. When I remember that's my lives. In my DNA, there it is. Much lovelier than I intended. I never got out. Anytime I've ever experienced living in this DNA genetic experience, I never got to live me. I got more contribution, never got out. You know what the Lord told me? Same with me, buddy. I got more contribution than I ever got out. Does that say that to you, boy? So me and the Lord, we share that frustration. To the Lord, it's not really frustrating. It's kind of a game it plays because it understands that's what it built. To me, it's frustrating. I have a hard time comprehending that. It makes me feel, and I forget sweet things sometimes got to get exasperated. The Lord doesn't get exasperated as much as I do. Well, the Lord says, I built that exasperation in you for one reason. That you always hold me liable instead of yourself. Boy, do you realize if you didn't have that exasperation and you got so sweet, you'd be pretty hard on the others that weren't. Real hard. I have to keep you seeing yourself somewhat a failure so you don't tear the guts out of those that do and don't see themselves when they're pretty tough on everyone else and their positions. Not seeing themselves failures. I'm afraid what you might do to them. I kept that kind of like a muzzle on your lips, boy, and your mind. That's what the Lord explained to me. Well, I think nice things are getting edited, a lot of us, through the whole thing. You have to go through here. You can't go thrust and fuel, timing. Fuel will never go through here. Nothing of the planet Earth really uses fuel at all. Fuel is getting very misused right now. It's on the way out. They've overplayed their hand. Biggest mistake people make is overplaying their hand. And there's a lot of rackets overplayed their hand. And it's quite obvious what they're doing to this planet. It's over. They've overplayed their hand. Mom Nature especially won't stand it any longer. And human wit there too. So there's other options, especially when you date it. You date fuel and you have this much no fuel. This much fuel, well, believe me, you're going to have, without any fuel at all. Not bad? Timing and frequency. No fuel. Favor, frequency, timing, convenience. Man, you're a mammal. You know how to handle that. There's a lot getting edited right now. Options, a description. You're all suffering misidentification because of the editing going right now. Two things, I think. The wits of those doing the editing, they think they know what went here, and they don't. Of course, they're preaching to the itching ears, and their ears ain't itching at all. How can they preach to the itching ears when their ears ain't itching? And, as I'm concerned, something quite ambient and aware and here called fungus. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It has something to do with my agitation, I know that. I'm infested with it, and I work on staying the mood that tells fungus to stuff it instead of telling anything else to stuff it, which fungus would like me to tell a lot of things to stuff it. I just tell fungus to stuff it. I'm my maker. I like to take the reputation of the Lord, trash it, and beat fungus to pieces with it. Let's say there's a judgment someday. I wonder what that's going to be like when we drag all those circumstances before the Lord in judgment about my life. Let's see what fungus looks like then. I'm state's evidence for fungus and its influence. It won't be here much longer once I stand my judgment. And I'm working up to that right now with all my might. How about you? You think you're going to stand the judgment and the metamorphosis someday? I'd get bearing my soul here and now and working up to it. I sure would, with the words honesty, generosity, right here as much as I can get it. And talk to the Lord under those influences. If there's any guns, point them here with your fingers. Huh? And the implosion of wit. Implode wit, not gunpowder and lead. Don't you ever say it? I'm going to speak Hebrew again. Sayonara. Ah, I like that language. Watachiwa. Those Japanese, man, jacking up an airport. Very smart. Very smart people. Japanese. And how humble when they make a mistake. Hey. You know, internationalism hasn't been very nice to Japanese island, has it? I look at the history of Japanese island and the effect of internationalism. I like to take internationalism, just take its head and go, yeah, I win. Yay, Japanese island. Internationalism. What else I got? Mock that teeny little island, huh? Island. Yay, Japan. What I always say. What Tachawa? Northwest Side Spalding. Bare bone broadcasting, and the skeleton nation better hit the road.